A mansion in the Cass Corridor is on the verge of a massive makeover. The building has been abandoned for 4 decades, but not anymore.
The Now Detroit's Andy Choi is live in Detroit with information on how this eyesore is seeing new life. All right, tell us about it, Andy.
Hey, this is all about rebuilding Detroit, and joining us now are the folks who are going to make this possible here. Joel Landy, Charlie Mers, thank you so much for joining us. First of all, Joel, as the developer here, tell us about how excited you are.
It's a long-awaited project that I've been truly working on more than 30 years to save this building. Finally have put the funding together, the time is right, and I'm thrilled that we're able to save this most historic building in my neighborhood.
Yeah, and let's take a live look here at this mansion behind us. This belonged to one man back in the day, right?
It did. James Scott, the fountain on Belle Isle. The Scott Fountain was a notorious gambler, playboy, didn't get along with the city very well, is why the beautiful side was built facing north and the ugly brick wall facing the government to the south. But yeah, it was the James Scott house.
And now the Scott mansion will be turned into apartments. How many are we talking about here?
It will be 26 one-bedroom apartments that are all new and modern inside, but look like they were built in 1890.
Yeah, and let's talk to the architect here, Mr. Mers, Charlie Mers here, joining us. You know, obviously, you've got some work to do here.
Yes, it's a very challenging project.
Yeah, tell us about what, you know, when you take a look at this, what about this building not only attracts you as far as an architect goes, but what's going to be some of the big challenges here?
Well, I've done a lot of historical work in the city of Detroit and saved several old buildings, but this is, because of its condition right now, without a doubt the most challenging for a couple of reasons. Mortimer L. Smith, the architect, and the owner, Scott, James Scott, who is a very flamboyant man, came up with a design that's gaudy. It's gaudy. It's got checkerboards of red sandstone and white limestone and carvings and finials and columns and chimney caps and chimney bases that stick out, and have all these. There are like 4 different types of finials. A finial is a cap on a column, you know, or whatever. The entryway alone has carved limestone all the way up it. So we had to do a lot of research and crawl through the building, and it's really to Joel's credit that he saved the building.
Yeah, and why is it important to preserve that history, that gaudiness, you know, to make sure that this is an homage to the past?
Without our past, we are nothing.
Spoken very well here, and I want to make sure we talk about this, Mr. Landy, the fact that, you know, obviously when you redevelop an area, things change, things around the building changes, but you want to make sure that the climate and the color of this community stays as vibrant as it is now.
That is very important. I have lived here more than 35 years. One of the first things I realized that since the late 1800s, it was one area where rich and poor people lived together. So I have rebuilt this Peterborough Charlotte Historic District with rental rates from $400 a month to $1,200 a month. And so everyone that has lived here in the past or wants to in the future, there's a place for them. It's that income diversity that makes this Cass Corridor or Midtown so special, and that's part of what we're preserving.
We're looking forward to the rebuilding, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck with the project. All part of rebuilding Detroit. This mansion hopefully home to several people later in the future here wanting to rent and live in Detroit. With that, we'll send it back to you in the newsroom.
Boy, I can't wait to see the changes when they're made. That architecture is absolutely beautiful, even in that old state.